Yeah.
Well, first of all, guys, congratulations on making it this far. Why don't we just open up with your thoughts on the game?
Coach Brown.
Disappointed, just like I was last year. This team is not tough enough. We snuck in the back door. It showed that we really didn't probably deserve a bid, to be perfectly honest with you. It is kind of tough, though, when the team shoots 17 free throws in the first half and we shoot 6. Finish the game with 36 free throw attempts to our 19. Doesn't make it easy. But at the same time, they out-rebounded us 47-34, and that shows toughness. When you get out-rebounded by almost 13 rebounds a game, that shows that you weren't tough enough, okay? Shot well in the first half. I knew we couldn't sustain that. I was hoping we could at least keep it in the 40s. Played awful offensively in the second half, shooting 28%, 41 for the game, and they did whatever they wanted to do in the second half, and we deserved to be going home. Credit the Union, and look forward to next year.
Sam, your thoughts?
We didn't play hard enough. First half was hard. Trying to stand my guys, stand on ourselves to keep that same energy we had the first half. The second half, we just wasn't able to do it. We just got to fight harder and be tougher.
Shaquan.
Obviously, it's a long game. Basketball is a game of runs. I feel as though we didn't do what we needed to do defensively, and they got the last run and pulled it out.
Coach, what was the difference between the two halves? Why? What can you point to as to why the shooting percentages, both from the field and also from three-point range, kind of reversed?
We didn't execute on offense. We had too many guys going off of their own on offense in the second half. We didn't execute. Anytime you as a coach are calling sets and guys are doing whatever they want to do, it's not a recipe for success. They did. Thought they got away with a few flop calls. I thought that changed the game. But I never blame refs. We played the game. Refs did the best job they could do, and I thought they played harder. They got every 50-50 ball. They got every 50-50 rebound, and they played harder than us at the end. Something I'm not used to seeing. But this team has shown a lack of guts all year, and that's why we're in this position.
Second year in a row that we've lost in the first round to a school from the Liberty League, team that we've never played before.
Mm-hmm.
What is it about this matchup? Is it a different style of play? I saw the fouls were obviously called a lot closer than what you normally see in the NJAC.
Yeah, the NJAC is a different league. A lot of the stuff that I thought their guards were getting away with, selling fouls, you can't do that in our league, and we didn't adjust. I thought a few of them were fouls, but I thought for the most part the majority of them weren't. And maybe they're fouls in this area. NJAC's a little more physical. I thought their inside guys were physical. They played hard, but I thought their guards did a real good job of selling fouls that weren't there. And I thought we didn't get the same calls. But I don't think that's why we lost the game. I think it helped. I think offensively we didn't execute in the second half. Defensively we missed a bunch of different assignments. And we had too many guys that strayed and just did what they wanted to do. And that's not how we play. And every game we've lost has kind of been the same thing, where guys are just kind of doing what they want to do on offense, and then we have a lack of execution, both offensively and defensively. And this is the NCAA tournament, so it was a great crowd, great atmosphere. And when the pressure was on, we didn't step up. We had some guys on our bench that really didn't help us at all today. They didn't even show up. And this is what happened. So now we got to just kind of regroup and get back to recruiting and bringing some guys that I think are tough enough to handle these situations. This is the second year in a row. It's very disappointing. We kind of wanted to come in and get a win. The NJAC conference hasn't done well in the last few years, and we were really looking to try to get out of the first round this year. It didn't happen. So hats off to Union, hats off to their coaching staff, hats off to their fans that came to support them. That's about it.
Sam, Shaquan, you guys are both captains. You're both going to be back next year. Second year in a row you guys have played in this spotlight. You guys have both had excellent statistical lines individually today. Sam had 25 and 10. Shaquan had 12 assists, career high, 10 points, 7 boards. Obviously, stats aside, what have you guys learned individually from this run this year, the second run to the NCAA tournament, that as you come back a year wiser, maybe some more supporting pieces, maybe help us get out of the first round and maybe further in the future?
Well, like Coach said, it's a toughness that really bothers us. When you got, like Coach said, when you got every guy, all them guys getting 50-50 balls, and we're not getting them, and then we're not getting loose rebounds and stuff like that. It's it's tough when we're fighting hard and then we give up a loose ball, and then we give up a foul. So it's tough, but we gotta find a way to come together and be tough mentally and physically and just pull it out. In the beginning of the season, we had a couple games where the games was close and we pulled it out. And then towards the end of the season, now, tough games we can't pull out. We got to find a way to do that at the end of the season.
Squad.
If you don't have heart, you can't play for Coach Brown. Obviously, we play defense. Guys beat you left and right. They penetrating, kicking out open threes. They're boxing out, getting loose balls, getting extra rebounds, offensive rebounds, and those things that hurt us.
Overall, there's 400 schools in Division III, roughly, that love to have been here in the first place, and we are here. What solace can you take from this? What positives can you take from this run to the NCAAs for the second year in a row? It's only the 7th time in school history that we've been in back-to-back NCAAs, and that's not a streak that too many teams have ever achieved.
I don't take any solace from anything. We have many goals during the season. One of our goals this year, obviously the first goal is to finish 500. The second goal is to have a 20-win season. We didn't reach that goal. We're not the kind of program that doesn't have a history of making the NCAA. We're a program that has been to the NCAA 20 times, has been to 2 Final Fours under my father. For me, this is not acceptable. It's really that simple. I'm a winner. I'm trying to win every game, every possession. I was like that as a player. I'm like that as a coach. Like Shaquan said, and there's some guys that I'm not a fit for everybody. So if your mentality is that we had a great year and because we made the tournament, lost in the first round, I don't want guys like that around me and in my program. That's being honest. So for me, right now, I'm already thinking next year because I'm on a recruiting trail right now. I'm looking forward to getting back at it in September, and we'll see what we can do. But to be honest with you, I'm definitely not satisfied right now. I feel just as bad as I felt last year when we lost to Skidmore. I thought Union was a team that, because we were a different kind of matchup, the pressure we put on teams, I thought we could cause them some problems that we did in the first half. But they really showed a little more toughness than us in the second half. They kept their composure, and you really got to give them a lot of credit for that. Besides that, right now there is no, I'm not one of those type of emotional guys after the game. I'm saying one thing, and next week I'm saying another thing. We're not satisfied with coming up here traveling all this way and getting knocked out in the first round when we were in complete control of the game. Not a happy camper right now. Very disappointed in my group, and we got to live with this.
So as you mentioned, you're going to go out recruiting. What else do you look to improve on for next season?
Toughness. We need some tougher guys. It's not just this game. We've been saying this all season about this group. This group is not tough enough to be a championship level team. It's clear. We have some guys that just don't play hard enough. We have guys that don't play on both ends of the floor. This is something my staff and I have been talking about. We really overachieved this year. This is actually, to me, it was a surprise. It wasn't a surprise we got the bid because of the strength of schedule, but the way we faltered towards the end of the year, I was a little surprised, to be honest with you. Anytime you lose your final regular season game by a team that didn't even make our conference championship by 20 points, and then we lose the first round of our tournament in our gym to the 6th seed by we were down 20 at halftime. We really stumbled into this tournament. So we're not tough enough. We don't have enough guys with grit. We have guys that are they're worried about themselves, that don't look at themselves in the mirror after games, don't take the game serious enough, don't work hard enough. One thing I pride myself on is bringing in tough guys. And I know I'm a tough guy to play for, but I've seen a lot of tough coaches, and my job is to get the most out of these guys, even things that they can't get out of themselves. My job as a coach is to put them in a position to do things that even they think they can't do, okay? And you have to be a certain type of player and person to be able to accept that kind of coaching, to be able to accept criticism, to be able to be pushed that way. And we don't have that with this team. And we've been talking about it all year, so this is not just me being emotional after a big loss. I'm talking about it now. I've told these guys, and you can tell them and ask them, we've won a lot of games, and I've been in this mood like we've lost, because that's how disappointed I've been with the effort. And we've gotten over because Sam has carried us a few games on offense. We've had LeVon Green, who had a couple of big games offensively, and we were able to outscore people. But when you play like that, it always comes to bite you in moments like this, where the best teams, complete teams, win these games, and they showed why they were better than us tonight.
How do you adjust as a coach and as student athletes to a team that obviously, plays a different style of basketball?
Mhm.
You come from physical conference,
Right.
Where every night it's it's a physical game. How do you face a team like Union that isn't used to that type of game, that type of toughness and physicality? Down there, not that they're not physical, but
Right.
it's just a little bit of a different game. Talk about the differences there.
It's difficult, but that's what makes this tournament great, these matchups. It is difficult though. And what it was for us is we watched a lot of film, and we played Skidmore last season, so we knew what their style of play was, but it's hard to adjust. It's hard to adjust to different officiating also. And I'm, like I said before, I'm not trying to blame the officials on this loss. They beat us. But it's very difficult. I thought we did a good job of adjusting in the first half. In the second half, we did a poor job, and that's when it counted the most. But it's very difficult, and we knew that coming in. One of the things I try to do is when I'll schedule my independent games, I try to schedule teams from different leagues. We played at Johns Hopkins, who's similar to Union. Drew University is very similar to Union. And so we played a couple of teams that kind of play this way. They're not used to pressure. They're not used to switching on defense. And I thought in the second half we just did a poor job of adjusting to the officiating, especially after coming out of timeouts and after being kind of instructed on how to play guys. Once you're playing in the game, you see how different guys play. You see different guys' habits, and we did a really poor job of adjusting, and it showed at the end.
What do you guys, Sam, Shaquan, question for you. I'll start with Shaquan actually. You're coming into now your fourth year. What are you going to work on in the off season to get yourself ready for another run?
Definitely my leadership. You can always add more toughness. Definitely shooting. Miss a key free throw. Defense, it can always be better. Like Coach always said, anybody can be a good defender. But I just feel like those are the things I need to work on. Everything else will fall in place.
Sam, you had breakout sophomore year, conference player of the year, All-American caliber year, but obviously still room to grow. Same question. Where do you see yourself working on off season to try to get us back here in your junior year?
I'm never satisfied. My work ethic is always going to be high. I'm going to work on everything. There's nothing that each time I go into, I work on every part of my game because I can always improve. I can always be better. There's nothing. I'm not content with being around. I want to be the best player I could possibly be. And with that being said, in the offseason, I got to go and work just as hard as I worked during the season.
Great. Well, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.